Look at me, Brian.
Roller coaster.
Yeah. I'm so glad we got that on film.
Welcome to the Chasing Tone video show. I'm Brian.
I'm Max.
And today we have a lot of cool things to talk about. We have, we go through different types of fuzzes, discussing, how the different types sound and kind of work a little bit and how they react different. We have a really cool pedal vault showing a really cool reverb pedal.
Yep.
We also talk about buffering, why you would want to use any sort of buffers. We also talk about how to run your amp whenever you have to play at a very low volume, like if you're practicing at home and you don't want to
Make life mad.
Exactly. So with that, let's get in the show and get in the first question.
What is the difference between most fuzz-type pedals?
All right, so this question actually comes from a number of people who have asked us about different fuzzes and what's the difference between them, and et cetera, et cetera. You'll notice the Velvet Fuzz is not on here because I didn't want to put it on here, basically.
Yeah.
There's really no other reason than that. These are all cool fuzzes. They got the Big Muff, which is that's the old Russian version, right?
Yep.
And then you have
that's Alex Clay's.
Alex Clay's, yep. And then you have the Scarab, which is made of basic audio, and that's like a tone bendery type of thing.
Cool.
And then you have the Fuzz Face, which I love. What I love most about this Fuzz Face is that the fuzz and volume knobs are backwards from the factory.
Nice.
So I don't.
In and outs are backwards too.
Or I assume it's from the factory. You know what? I bought it used, so I guess it's possible someone could have switched it.
But you got it for like $30 or something.
Yeah,
something
crazy.
insane.
So it's a little like it looks like the volume's up all the way. It's because it's the fuzz amount,
Gotcha.
So, anyways, clean tone. Big Muff. It's a little more, get a little more fuzzy going.
Boom.
That's the Big Muff. And then, this basic audio, I actually forget. Okay, so we have bias control, a fat control.
Why's it gotta be fat?
Eat too much. Tone and fuzz.
Boom.
And volume, of course. So, you know what? I'm actually, feel free to turn those knobs. That's the volume.
So that one should go all the way down.
Let me take a little volume out of that. So
cool.
The bias control is like good for. Yeah, like hairy stuff.
Yeah.
Like you notice when I'm barely picking, nothing comes on.
Yeah.
So it's just like a little sputtery.
That's cool.
Let's see, tone, fuzz. Let's turn the fuzz all the way up. You got kick back on?
Yeah.
That's because it's biasing the transistors. Hence the bias control.
Oh.
So, you know what we didn't check to see how it cleans up?
That's cool, man.
Let's see the Big Muff here. Yeah, so big muffs don't clean up like other fuzz circuits. So that's that sound. Volume here again, and that's cranked on the fuzz control. Let me clean it up.
So out of the three, the Fuzz Face actually cleans up a little better.
It does clean up a little better, yeah. Yeah, the Scarab has more gain to it technically. Clips more, clips harder. The Big Muff clips harder as well, but it's more like the Big Muffs to me are almost like a distortion. More than, I mean, they are a bit fuzzy, but they're nowhere near as fuzzy as like a tone bender or a Fuzz Face. So
Yeah.
here, we totally play different. So we'll run through the same thing real quick. So right now,
I'll even leave it on the bridge.
you can do whatever you want. You want the Ibanez?
And I'm good, but thank you. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool.
That's just that bias control there.
Yeah.
All right, and the face of fuzz.
That's cool. I think out of three of them, I think I'm almost a Fuzz Face guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounded good with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, with me, I can't get a lot out of it.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Stevie Ray Vaughan play the Fuzz Face?
Vaughan? I think so. I think there is a Fuzz Face in it.
I think Cesar Diaz like modded some or something.
I'd have to ask Anthony from the Texas Blues Alley.
He knew him. Nah, not really. As I call him, Vaughan.
Well, that's
how I remember how to
his real
spell it.
name. That's his real name. Stage name is just Vaughn.
Just Vaughn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nerds.
All right, so that's the difference between those types of fuzzes. They sound dramatically different. They feel a lot different. It's the big thing.
They feel definitely nail on the head, man. They totally feel different.
Yeah. On this week's Pedal Vault, we have the new, I think this is new, right?
Yeah.
The new Descent from Walrus Audio.
New to us, anyways.
Yeah. Yep. So really cool pedal. Actually got it at the Nashville Amp Show a couple weeks ago. And Colt from Walrus was in the room next to us, actually.
Wampler, Walrus, were they like
It was alphabetical order. No, it happened. It just so happened that way. And there actually wasn't like a whole bunch of traffic at the show. So,
Okay.
so there was some downtime. So we just would all, hang out, and they had beer over there.
Lucky.
So, we hung out at the Walrus room. And, no, but really, so I never hadn't really had a chance to, play on their stuff. So, I mean, they had a bunch of cool stuff. And so I talked Colton to trade me the Latitude tremolo
Yeah.
for 50 cents.
You should have got a Mayflower. Those things are awesome.
Well, that's the thing. I was like wanting a bunch of them, but he said our pedal sucked.
So, Colt, if you're listening, you need to send me a Mayflower because they're out of this world awesome. So,
It did sound good, yeah.
Anyways.
A lot of stuff sound good. So.
The Descent.
And then they have the joystick one, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
and that was pretty cool too. But it was not like anything I would personally use. So versus the Descent, which has got tons of cool features. So anyway, we're going through a Port City Pearl, right?
Yep.
With a Whitfield Telecaster, Stratocaster.
It's the only
Nice.
caster.
So let's hear your clean tone, and I'll push it on here.
I'm left alone. I need an adult. Dude, I love that octave up, octave down thing. You can hear it just on the tail end of it. It's a very inspiring pedal. So it's very touch responsive too. Like the more you dig in, you can hear it.
Do I?
So it's very touch responsive. But the more you dig in, like the harder the reverb. That's cool, man. You could probably spend a couple hours, I think, find out about
Oh, there's
1,000 different things.
tons of different things. So we're on the reverse feature now.
I don't know if I'm smart enough to operate this pedal.
And you can hear the octaves you can actually control here.
Those are cool. I was playing
Yeah.
with those before the show.
Yep. So we're putting an octave down and an octave up. Hit it again.
Is that the reverse?
Yeah. It's the diminished knob, which changes different features based on what setting you're on. So
That's cool.
yep.
See that?
Let me
I can
take
play
the
scale.
octaves out real quick.
That's still in reverse, though.
Yeah. Yep. I just took the dry mix all the way out.
That's cool, man.
Let me put it on shimmer again.
That's cool. It's almost like an organ in the back.
Yeah,
On the very tail end of it.
It's fairly, quite a bit. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Pick on it, dude. Show me how it's done.
All right. So if it was me, here, actually,
Yeah, don't use my pick. These are
I'll use a walrus pick.
that goes with the battle.
You know,
Won't work without
the pick
it.
cost me price of a Latitude. That was free.
Yeah. You gotta tell your story on that later. Not using it right.
I don't think it's suitable. That setting is not really like a chicken picking type of thing.
It's not a chicken picking thing.
But like for chords and stuff.
My gear shifter.
Yep.
That's cool, man.
Let me mess with the Hall setting real quick. I was actually...
Where's my bender?
I was trying to bend that G into... yeah, didn't work. Anyways. So, yeah.
That's cool, man.
Very cool pedal.
Send me a Mayflower. They're awesome.
All right, so let's get to the next question.
How can good tone be achieved in low volume scenarios such as practicing at home?
So that's a really good question. Actually, the trick to that is increasing the bass on your amp and lowering the treble a bit. And some of that is just because as you turn an amp up, you actually get that naturally. You actually get more low end, or at least what your ears perceive.
Yeah.
It sounds like more low end, and also the high end tends to taper off, especially like as you really crank something up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little trick, like you're playing really low. Like right now, we're on a deluxe reverb, and the bass is up fairly high. The treble's down like 4. So it's... Let me buffer you real quick. Okay, so now if we're going to do a distortion tone, I'll use the catapult. Can I say this?
Yeah.
real quick?
I mean,
So-
of course, it's your guitar. Or something.
So keep in mind, I mean, we're at like just 2, which is not too loud on that amp. But with the 3-band EQ on this pedal and a lot of other pedals, you can actually simulate that same thing as well. So if let's say you're using a champ at home or something with just a treble control, use a 3-band EQ in your signal chain or a distortion panel with more EQ options. So, for this it's got a good amount of bass already at noon. So.
You're still getting all the same punch as an amp that's been cranked up, just so
Right.
not you're splitting volumes.
Yeah. In fact, I may even roll the bass back a bit. Because of course, if you have too much bass, then it's going to be all just sound like you have a big subwoofer attached to it.
True.
So.
Or you can go the really easy route and buy everybody earplugs for Christmas.
Yeah, the big soundproof. Yeah, exactly. That's also another way. So that's the quick and easy answer to that. It's just simple EQ changes is the best way.
What is the benefit of using a buffer and a true bypass signal path?
All right, so that's actually another great question. There is a gigantic difference between buffered and non-buffered signal.
Absolutely.
So right now we're going through our show board. Wait, that's off right there. We're going through our show board. So there's it's 2 15-foot cables, I think. What?
Yeah.
30 feet of patch cables or something
I think
like that.
I have it all figured out. I think between everything, it's like 75 and a half feet.
75 and a half.
With the cable. That's all. Because you have these great big runs underneath. I think are like 6 feet too. So.
Right. And so, I mean, you're probably watching us on YouTube, and you've probably heard other people talk about why exactly it is. So I'm going to give you like the 3rd grade version because that's what most of us really care about, right? You really don't want to go through the math of it, do you?
No.
Okay, so
It's a lot of math.
Yeah, it's stupid. So, so really, like as it pertains to guitar playing, if you don't have any buffers in the signal, whether you have a 10-foot cable or a 20-foot cable, you're always going to lose some highs just because the high impedance coming from a guitar, and with it being high impedance, you're just that cabling actually takes off a little bit of high end for every foot of cable. So multiply that by 75 foot, you got a lot of high end being taken off the cable.
Yeah.
So quick, simple fix: put a buffer as close to the guitar as possible. If you want to spend some cash and have someone put a buffer in the guitar,
I think Joe Perry did that,
like
right?
Joe Perry, yep. That's a cool way to do it. But you know, the exception is like if you used a fuzz face, several different types of fuzzes, tone benders. You'll want to put the buffer after that fuzz, and even some walls too. Some I forget. It depends on the wall because sometimes they build a buffer in there to allow for it. So, but let's just play it safe and say buffer after the wall if you're unsure. The quick way to find that out is just by putting it before and after and see what happens to the wall. So without any sort of buffering, just high impedance signal here.
You're on the bridge pickup too, right?
And that's the bridge of a Strat. So this is just a buffer. It's not adding in highs. It's just simply not allowing any more highs after that buffer to be taken out. And it's just simply converting the signal into a low impedance, which basically, we've discussed this with Frank Falbo on an earlier in depth for like an hour. So yeah, go back to that one if you want to hear like the really technical version of it. Because yeah, Frank is the guy behind P-Rails and a lot of really cool pickup stuff that's going on in the industry. Anyway, so you know, probably what I'm saying is that's the technical version. So go back to that episode. With it being buffered, here's what it sounds like. Turn it off for me again. Back on. So tons of difference.
Big time.
And also a little hint. So let's say that you're not using a buffer in your chain and you kick on your compressor and you're like, wow, that compressor's really bright. So that's not what it is. The compressor is buffering at the end of it. So I'll turn the blend all the way down on this compressor so it's just clean signal. Wait, I'm buffer here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me try it again. Turning the buffer off, turning the Ego compressor on. It's all the way clean on the clean blend, so no compression, just the blend circuit. That's without anything on. With the compressor on. So you notice it's not like a dedicated buffer, but it does sound like it brightens it up somewhat. And it's just because at the tail end of it, it is, you know, converting that signal to low impedance. Most pedals will do that too, just by design. So unless it's like a fuzz or something like that, you know, most of your overdrives and distortions, even delays and stuff like that, the output section is arranged in such a way, just by design, that it's going to convert that signal to low impedance. So, but, you know, so I guess long story short, if you always have a compressor on, you're probably okay.
Good to go.
You know, if you have a Boss buffer, or sorry, Boss tuner or something, it's going to buffer a little bit as well. Really, any Boss pedal is going to buffer as well. So it doesn't mean you necessarily need to go out right now and buy a buffer. If you have a Boss pedal, it's a quick and easy way just to do it like that. So, all right. So hope that helped. If you have any questions, make sure you email us at podcast@wamplerpedals.com. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, of course, now we do Facebook video as well. Make sure you comment below and share it with all your friends. And for Brian
And Max.
we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.